Hey people, Injured here, 2v2, Medean Cliff Mines, blue team. We've got Treehugger as a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt some awesome offense and a bit of support too. Alongside, Harmony is a warp spread Exarch to the point commander that fights range combat, lots of great capping and harassing early on with some awesome control abilities too. And red team, a couple of Space Marine players. First up is Tiberos as a Techmarine, starts up range combat, really good damage potential, can also support with structures and repair. And rounding off this red Space Marine team is a Blood Ravens Force commander. It's Boom, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. So Lictor Alpha and Warp Spread Exarch. Is there a more annoying team than this? I don't think there is. Lictor Alpha has infiltrated and is looking to harass the mid. Warp Spread Exarch using his awesome mobility early on to get straight at this wreck point in the north. There is a contested VP mid, as you can see. Natural for red team in the south, natural for blue team in the north. Hormagaunts chasing off scouts. But I want to get some shotguns up or some anti-melee from the Techmarine. He can have some pretty damn good anti-melee in tier 1 with Bionics and his Master Crafted Bolt. He's been surrounded here by Hormagaunts. As you can see, they're not all able to attack at the same time. There we go. He's taken some out. He does have respectable melee damage to the Techmarine early on, compared to the Plague Champion anyway. Tactical Marines capping mid. Some more in light cover of these barbed wire fence type things, having to back away. I don't think all three of the models were in cover there. Here comes some Howling Banshees with power melee weapons, and they are generally very, very scary for Tactical Marines. Kraken Bolts popped on these Marines, not going to help them against the Lictor Alpha, but they use it in a way. Shotgun scouts moving in, a good shotgun blast on the Banshees, but the Banshees going straight for the Tactical Marines, and the Lictor Alpha is there. The Lictor Alpha has very, very high melee damage out of the gate. I think it's around 60 DPS melee. Doesn't have a ranged sidearm, of course, though. 484, 495, a 2-to-1 cap for the red team. Double scouts up for Tiberos. He's getting some devastators now. Harmony, the Guardian Weapon team, was expecting a bunch of ranges against double CS, or double SM I should say, but I guess not, at least not yet. Look at this, red team getting a very natural wreck point uncapped by the Lictor Alpha there. That's very annoying. 479, 495 with a 1-to-1 cap. Treehugger with double Hormagaunts and Termagants with a Warrior Brood on the way. We could be seeing some very nasty melee synapse shenanigans in tier 2 with Genestealers perhaps. Maybe even just a Tyrant Guard alongside them, which can be very difficult to deal with as Space Marines, because you're encouraged to commit to Plasma Gun Tactical Marines, which a lot of Space Marine players don't like doing in 2v2s and 3v3s. They seem to prefer to use their Tactical Marines as a missile launcher squad for some quick and reliable AV. Hormagaunts, double Hormagaunts, in fact, forcing off the Devastators. Are they going to approach this group though? Looks like they are, and that's a misplay, I think, from Treehugger. Should have just retreated out. There's a lot of firepower there. The Techmarine does good damage out the gate, around 30 DPS piercing. Tactical Marines are no slouch, and you have the scouts there as well, weighing in with their bolt of fire. No shotguns on these guys against double Hormagaunts. I really would get shotguns up. Even with the Devastators there, they can be overrun and flanked, especially with an infiltrated Lictor Alpha. Looks like he puts up his Pheromone Cloud, allows Tyranid units to reinforce around it. As you can see, I think it also gives a damage resistance buff. I'm not sure about that though. You don't see it any kind of effect for it, that's for sure. Tactical Marines being knocked all over the place by these power melee Warrior Brood models. That awesome passive leap into combat. They've run into a Devastator now, and they will drop models quickly at that range. Set up teams with a suppression weapon, always doing more damage the closer you get to them. And a full retreat off there from Treehugger. Didn't quite predict or catch the Devastator coming into play there. A relay beacon going up. You don't often see them on this map down here. Sometimes you see them mid, but Tiberos going for one, and Warp Spread Exarch goes down. Double Hormagaunts now in the mid. They're going to catch Tactical Marines. This could be very, very nasty. The Silver is jumping in to disrupt them. Tactical Marines using that disruption to retreat. That's actually good play from Boom. He did not panic there, because if he did retreat out of that mob, he might have lost both of those models. Luckily for him, None of these Hormigons, oh, they do have adrenal glands. One squad now does have adrenal glands, or one brood I should say, which does make them quite a bit more nasty in tier 1. As you can see, health increase, damage increase, and you get that passive leap into combat. Doesn't knock stuff over like the warrior brood, but does help them quickly close the distance. 479, 373 scout squad with a sergeant up now for Tiberos. That will allow him to spot the infiltrated Lictor Alpha, because that scout sergeant is a detector unit. You can tell because of that eye decorator above the unit's icon there. Banshees and Dar Avengers forced to retreat out, but they do get away okay. No sign of a retreat grenade there attempted. Red team do have the mid, 470, 373, as the players begin to start thinking about tier 2. We have Harmony going first. Treehugger is floating here, over 200 power. This kind of thing I do. Assault Marines jumping on the Shuriken, but they leave it alone, not trying to get models on retreat. They should be able to finish off this Lictor Alpha here, trying to get into retreat path. One hit from those chainswords and he will go down, but he gets away with 2 hit points. No, he does not. The Assault Marines finishing him off with their bolt pistols, but that should be an easy revive from there for a free level 2 basically for the Oxford Exarch when he gets there. 444, 373 Dark Creepers on the way for Harmony. We'll need to steer clear from the Assault Marines, but otherwise should have pretty free reign here. Maybe keep your Banshees back, guarding your Dark Creepers, so when they get jumped, pop that war shout and go to town with your aspect of fleetness Banshees. Dark Creepers with Inferno damage, which will do extra versus heavy infantry and super heavy infantry, which is largely what Space Marine infantry is, apart from the scouts and the commander and the librarian. 423, 373. Thunderhammer on the way for the Force Commander. Really wants to put the pressure on these Banshees. Doesn't want them running around chopping stuff up. Devastator's nicely placed here by Tiberos, but they're going to get tied up by the Lictor Exarch, who of course has a special attack. Also has improved targets up. Banshees getting into combat with those tactical marines. That was a bit slow to react there from Tiberos. Grenade going in. Not sure what these Termagants are up to. Looks like they are tying up Devastators here. Warriors jumping in. Termagants need to be careful. The Force Commander is there, trying to finish them off with his 40 DPS chainsword. We also have tactical marines who can get extra damage on these warriors with their Kraken rounds. Can they finish off the warriors here? All of a sudden got way too close to those Devastators as they set up, and Spore Mines called in by Treehugger. Nicely done, and has a zone throat on the way. Where are those Dark Creepers though? Taking an age to get out of HQ here. 385, 373. And overall a pretty good engagement for the red team there. Oh look, blue team have lost both of their commanders. One of them's going to need to repurchase if they want to see them back on the field. Costs you 250 rec to repurchase your commander. If you let the price go down enough, price will increase as your commander levels, but it will drop to 250 as a base. Turret now up, guarding the southern VP for the red team. They're also taking that semi-contested but a little bit natural rec point for the blue team. Blue team's natural, that is. Here comes a zone throat. Artillery piece for the Tyranids. Does not do friendly fire, but doesn't do nearly as much damage as the other artillery pieces per shot. But still, very, very nice unit. Does not need to set up. No friendly fire. And has the focus warp blast to help with disruption and to slow down large targets. Those Assault Marines getting away. 363, 373. Very close on VPs. Looks like these big central engagements are going to be telling. Banshees bleeding like crazy. I think he should stop bringing these guys mid, because they're just getting overrun with huge amounts of firepower. Those Devastators keeping them under control quite nicely, and Boom is using his shotguns well. And there's that Thunderhammer now up. Artificer armor also. Tiberos going for a Razorback. Good choice here, really good choice. Warrior Brood do have their adrenal glands, so they are now emitting a melee synapse, as you can see, with big boosts for melee squads, not to mention these Hormigont Broods. 363, 373. There's that Tempest missile launcher type thing, is that what it's called? I don't know. But they also have the aspect of Reaper, increasing their damage by 10% and giving them pinning fire, which suppresses a unit on demand. Really useful ability. I think their damage is also increased for that duration as well. Devastator's run into trouble in the form of a blob of melee Tyranid stuff. But they get away without a model loss? No, they do lose 2 models. They are retreating back to the beacon, by the way, if you're wondering about their strange retreat path. He knows about the turret, so he's flanking round. Doesn't really have an answer to this Razorback though, does he? His Zone Throat is off the field. Both the blue commanders are back up. He's going in for the kill on his Devastators and should be able to get it. Yes, just about, but now needs to mass retreat. What is he doing here? It's a big risk, a really big risk. Nice grenade on that warrior blue, beautifully done. Unlucky not to get a model with that grenade, really. And he does get away, does treehugger, and goes tier 3. I would have retreated a lot earlier, but he did keep the pressure up there for a few more seconds. And it might be a good idea for Tiberos to come and try and bash power here. Some dead Termagants mid. Thunderhammer Force Spawner level 3, almost level 4. And it's tier 3 for everyone apart from Tiberos, who replaces his Devastators. 363, 346, 2-1 cap for the blue team. Has been very tense so far. Engagements going both ways. Tyranid with a good job wiping that Devastator squad there. Now he's in a bit of trouble, this Lictor Alpha. Puts up his pheromones very, very early there. That's a bit odd. As you can see, the Zone Throat also giving that awesome health regeneration synapse. Assault is going straight after it. The shield lasts seconds, and this thing only has 300 hit points. And that's of regular infantry armor, I think, so it does go down in seconds if it's caught by melee squads. But he lives. Shotgun scouts coming into play. Often not the most reliable ability, that, what's it called, explosive shot, but you can knock back and suppress an entire blob of units with it, as you saw there. Can get an entire army sometimes if your enemy's blobbed up. 307, 343, Razorback being chased down. Melter Gun Techmarine doing his thing. I think it's 95 damage per shot on that Melter Gun, boosted by Signal, and there's the marked target on the Warrior Brood. They're not going to like that, especially with a Thunderhammer Force Spawner chasing you down and teleporting into retreat path, but he doesn't go after them. He teleported after the Banshees, in fact. Shuriken Cannon on the field for Harmony still. And those Dark Creepers doing a good job. Banshees in retreat path. This could be nasty. Cannot get another model off the Assault Marine. Surely they're going to get wiped. They are. Nice flesh hook usage there from Treehugger as the feeder tendrils, and phase shift is used. Is he setting up a nuke here? No, doesn't have the red. It's just annoying people. Phase shift, it's actually bugged at the moment. It can render units permanently disabled, so you generally shouldn't use it, I assume. Harmony does not know about this bug. Lictor Alpha goes down. Ran into a Razorback. This Razorback doing well, isn't it? Level 2 has the reinforced armor plate and basically a health buff. Down goes the Warps Exarch, I should say. So blue team again with no commanders on the field. Devastator's not firing. What was that all about? Were they not set up? I don't think they were set up there. And he's going to lose another Devastator squad. Wow. They lasted seconds. 246, 343, and those guys have melee resistance now. There's an orbital bombardment. That's the global nuke of the Space Marine faction. I assume that was Tiberos out of sheer frustration. I don't think he's going to kill a squad here, but he does get stuff away from his Razorback. Treehugger floating loads of resources. Must be going for a Swarm Lord here in tier 3. Zone Throat needs to be careful, having a shooting match with double tactical marines. Going to get caught in the nuke, and this might be a dead Zone Throat. This is Boom's orbital. Down goes the Zone Throat. Nicely done. Doesn't kill anything else though. 222, 343. North is still very blue. Red team holding the mid now. The Space Marines can become very powerful with this kind of snowball effect in tier 3, especially when they are together in teams of 2 or 3. Tiberos has lost a lot, but he does have that Razorback still going and still doing well. Boom loses his Predator tank with a rear armor hit. from the Fire Prism. This thing has 65 range, so if you keep an eye on it and use it well, you can outrange most tanks. Though if they do get close, they will usually outshoot a Fire Prism with just 500 hit points on it. 198, 343. Now it's Tiberos who has a Predator tank. Might want to get las cannons and go chasing down that Fire Prism, we will see. Dire Avengers almost capping there. 191, 343, and it is a Swarm Lord on the way for Treehugger. Wants to support his little melee blob there with that speed buff that the Swarm Lord will give them, will also allow them to reinforce off of it. Just pretty damn scary. Razorback might go down eventually here. Warrior Brood chasing with their heavy melee claws, but they can't quite chase it down. Techmarine using Blessing of the Omnissiah to gradually repair all allied vehicles on the map. It is a pretty nice global, not spectacular, but can save your stuff now and then. Banshees chasing, which they are so good at, and they do wipe out the tactical marines. That's the kind of thing that just makes you rage as a player. Banshees chasing you across the map like that. 191, 343. That's their thing, no. That is their thing. Still have a turret and beacon down the south. Treehuggers just generally avoided it since they've been built. Generally. Is he going to finish off these Dark Creepers? Almost does. Force going to allow level 6 with a teleport pack. Artificer and Thunderhammer. Pretty popular build there. Where's that Swarm Lord? There it is. Super unit for Tyranids with a great synapse, as I mentioned before, but he's also got 2,000 hit points of vehicle armor and is not too shabby in melee combat. Doesn't have splash damage, but does a really nice amount of single target damage and has an awesome Blade Flurry ability. I think that's what it's called in a way, which absolutely gives nearby enemy squads. It's just basically a really awesome special attack that he does. Is he going to use it here on his tactical marines? They are caught in retreat here. Nope, he doesn't use it. Most people will save the energy of the Swarm Lord so they can use Leech Essence. So I think a few patches ago, Keltos reduced the energy cost of, I think it was Blade Flurry, so you can use it a bit more freely and still use that Leech Essence. 181, 343, catching Plasma Cannon Devastators. You see that melee resistance aura really helping them out there. Only lost a single model. Mark target on the Swarm Lord. Melter Gun doing its thing. A lot of damage it's taken here. See, Council note cancelled by Harmony, and is going for a decanner to try and control this central area. But look at this. Scouts on Captain duty and tactical marines bashing with a missile launcher. And they have the 2-to-1 now. They have both of the naturals, the red team. They might take the mid as well. The Force Commander going to be shot down by Dark Creepers and Dire Avengers. Level 3 Dark Creepers. How much damage are they doing? I think they do around 16 DPS Inferno per model at level 1. I think that's right. They do have pretty nice range. They are also heavy infantry. Might not think it to look at them, but they are a heavy infantry squad. 155, 343. Tactical Marines just about getting away there. Banshees chasing these ladies, level 3, doing huge amounts of damage with their power weapons. I think they do around 120 power melee DPS to full squad. I don't think that's with the Exarch though. So they are doing a hell of a lot of damage now at level 3. Assault Terminators on the field for Boom. Could get lightning claws on these guys and they will literally kill that entire blob with little worry. Just go straight for the warriors. They will wipe them out in seconds. The Hormigons will be flying all over the place from synapse bombs and then they'll clean them up. But he might be keeping the Thunderhammers for the Swarm Lord. He's going after it now. The cannon is getting shots in, doing a lot of damage to those Assault Marines. There's Mark target on the Swarm Lord again. Plasma Cannon with some friendly fire on the Assault Marines. Assault Terminator, I should say. And down goes the Swarm Lord. Didn't last very long, did he, with that Mark target on him. 139, 333. Treehugger now struggling. He's now struggling because he doesn't have the requisition to get a Carnifex or replace his Swarm Lord. Could maybe get a Doom of Malantite. But that still leaves this Predator tank and this Razorback, which has done a fantastic job. Level 4 Razorback still has a problem. trying to formation mid at some point. Assault Terminator's backing away. 139. 299. What's going on here? Lictor Alpha harassing the bottom. Ormagaunt's coming to reinforce. Blue team do have the bottom now thanks to Treehugger. Scouts maybe just seeing what's going on over here, get a bit too close to a bunch of pew pew Eldar stuff. See a council on the way now for Harmony. That's a risk. I assume he wants them to send after these Assault Terminators, and he will do a really good job versus Assault Terminators with hammers. But if those guys do decide to get Lightning Claws up, and with the Swarm Lord down, they might well do so. Though Seer Council will not last long. Genestealer's on the way now for Treehugger. Assault Terminators with claws do not care though. They will tear through Genestealers as well. But he's sticking with the hammer so far. Land with a Redeemer on the way for Boom. Killing its bashing power. There comes a Razorback and Predator tank with Twin Link Las Cannon level 3 Predator tank as well. He does finish it off. Lobbing up a bit here. Idle now. Out. Direct hit to that Warrior Brood. Warrior Brood, of course, are now a medium-sized unit, no longer small. So anti-vehicle weapons do have an increased chance to hit them compared to Ormagaunts and Marines and stuff. 139, 248, they are now in retreat. Here come Genestealers, already have their Rending Claws up. An elite melee unit for sure, and made even better by that melee synapse, taking up to 90 melee skill and increasing their health, of course. 139, 247. Lictor Alpha chasing stuff. Can he get another model? No, he can't. Runs into base turrets. Terminators coming back to the mid now. There will soon be a Land Raider Redeemer to support them. Might want to get a Librarian up as well. See a Council going for the Force Commander, but he does have that Battle Cry Thunderhammer. So good at just ripping through melee squads, or at least disrupting the hell out of them. Genestealers chasing a tank by themselves is very, very risky. But they do get away okay. This Razorback has been really good for Tiberos. He's used it really well. Look how much red Harmony has. Almost maxed out on 999. He has 969. Land Raider Redeemer on the field. Basically a mobile base for the Space Marines. Allows you to reinforce around it. Allows you to retreat back to it, which is a huge deal. Gives you so much field presence. Armed with some really nice weaponry as well. Multi-melter, Twin Linked Assault Cannon, and those big Flame Storm cannons on the side sponsons. Ormagaunt's being cheeky and trying to cap red team's natural victory point here. Blue team might get a cheeky triple cap. No, they don't. Ormagaunt's forced off. They are taking a natural back though, and they are holding mid for now. But Assault Terminators take it. 128, 237. The end game on the Mines maps can be pretty frantic as you're strategizing and trying to work out where you should push at any given moment. That was a singularity on the central. VP actually dragged some Banshees in there. Let's see what level 4 Banshees and level 1 Seer Council can do to Assault Terminators with hammers. And they run into a Land Raider Redeemer, and that's the end of that. Seer Council is still going after those Terminators though. Thunderhammer Force Commander is there to support, and they are forced to retreat out. Where are the Dark Reapers at? They are top, killing stuff. But he needs them mid to help against these Terminators. 128, 232. Treehugger continues to push mid, trying to split the red team. He doesn't want a tank, a Razorback, a Land Raider, and Terminators all in the same place. But he still hasn't dealt with this turret. Oh, it's a new turret, I'm afraid. It is. The old one was there. And another beacon as well. 122, 232. Treehugger up against it at the bottom. There's an Eldritch Storm. The worst enemy of Land Raiders, but there's nothing here to follow it up apart from that D cannon. I'm not sure what that's firing at. It looks like it's firing at the Razorback, which has been stunned momentarily by the Eldritch Storm. 108, 232. 2-1 cap for the red team, and they should, I say should, be able to hold on for victory. We do have a Carnifex unupgraded and Venom Brood on the field. They need some AV. Harmony Doesn't really have any. He has a D cannon which will hurt vehicles a lot, but that is it. And he's floating huge amounts of resources here, obviously waiting for an avatar. Is that a mistake? We shall see. 90-232 is not going to have time to get their avatar out. A Bright Lance in mid wouldn't have gone amiss, I think. 84-232. Carnifex going for the Venom Cannon. That's his ranged weapon. Pretty much anti-everything, but really good at taking on big targets. Venom Cannon is up. Has that 2-shot burst. Also does some area of effect damage to infantry if it can hit them. Cormagot's in all sorts of trouble. Banshees are there. These Terminators, of course, inspiring nearby allied units every time they make a kill. Carnifex getting shots off on the Land Raider Redeemer, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's taking missile launcher hits from the tactical marines. Tries to use the bioplasma. Might lose the Carnifex if the Predator tank chases here. Dark Reaper is doing a good job against these assault terminators. Are they level 4 yet, the Dark Reapers? They are still level 3. Close to level 4 though. Red team still holding on though with the 2-1, and the Carnifex goes down, and I think that's pretty much the end of the blue team's fight, because Treehugger doesn't really have anything to push mid, and he can't push bottom. Oh, he takes out the turret. I suppose the Lictor Alpha got in close. This Lictor Alpha is almost level 10. Wow. 42-232. Warrior Brood level 3. They've actually done quite well here, but I don't think they're going to chase down this Predator tank. Here comes another Predator tank with the auto cannon on top, generally better at taking on infantry targets with good accuracy and a good area effect as well. Spore mines dropped in to suppress these scouts and do some damage. Is he going to knock them off the cap though? Here comes some Genestealers. They might, using their Adrenal Rush. That will tear through pretty much everything, and scouts do not get away. Big push here by blue team on the bottom. Good idea to do so. Venom Brood will try to cap. Genestealers are trying to keep the pressure up. Avatar is on the field for Harmony, going mid. What can it do though? This thing cannot cap, of course. Going to fight a Land Raider. Smack. Needs some support here. This guy actually gives off a pretty spectacular passive aura. Gives suppression immunity and some defensive buffs, I believe. Maybe even an offensive buff also. The Banshees forced to retreat. 42-223. The Seer Council also giving off a really nice buff themselves. Here's a Wailing Doom on the Land Raider. Almost finishes it off. Is he going to chase it down? Is he going to try to? Assault Terminators are there without their claws. If they did have claws, oh, look at that. There's an Eldritch Storm to finish off the Land Raider. Avatar taking tons of damage though. Is he going to swap one super unit for his own? Looks like he might, because there's double Predator tanks there shooting at this Avatar. Down it goes. Tiberos only has double Predators. He's got loads of resources though. Look at this. Over 1,000 wreck, over 150 power. 38-213. They are holding on just about. Not as comfortable as I thought it was going to be. They did take down the Land Raider, but how can blue team respond here? Tiberos getting some scouts. I assume he perked. Oh, he got some Terminators on the field. Here they are. Tried to shoot up the Genestealers. Genestealers doing their best to chase, but they are really up against it here. 22-213. Red team, surely I've got to hold on. Maybe not. 2-1 we're going to have, because there's this cheeky little D cannon trying to cap mid. Level 4 tactical marines. Still with that missile launcher, which is reducing their DPS quite considerably versus infantry targets, since it's so unlikely to hit them, and he's going to lose them here. Just losing concentration boom, and loses them to Seer Council chasing with a nifty little sink kill. 20-213. Triple Predator tanks mid. Lightning Claw Terminators, here they are. Gonna tear through that Eldar stuff very, very quickly, especially with Battle Cry Force Commander support. Level 10 this guy. Maybe he should think about getting the Sacred Standard up unless he's keeping that teleporter so he can go after the D cannon. 20-2-1-3. 1-to-1 cap. Scouts taking the mid. There's the 2-to-1. Blue team not giving up here. It's been a valiant effort. Treehugger pressuring well in different areas, but it doesn't have the army to make it stick. There's an orbital catching an allied Terminator. Not very good job there, Marines. D cannon getting shots, giving scouts of every one. Level 3 D cannon. Wow, how much damage is that thing doing? And Singularity will throw Terminators around, which is why they're moving away there. 16-2-1-3 is one of the most reliable ways to stop Terminators capping a good Singularity. Here's that teleporter coming into play. Going after the Venom Brood. Smack takes out one of them. Nothing here to be Synapse bombed though. Another special attack. 16-2-1-3. Red team are taking a natural back to get that 2-to-1 popping again. Force Commander level 10. Lictor Alpha level 10. Warps Rex at level 4. Techmarine level 10 has the refractive field. Treehugger retreated by accident or something? I'm not sure. Well, I think he retreated these guys instead of his Venom Brood. Tiberos suddenly has a pretty sizable army. Triple Predator tanks, Terminators and Scouts. And one of those tanks is level 4. And there's the game. 3 VPs counting down for the red team. Blue team just couldn't keep the pressure up. Treehugger losing things at the wrong time. Lost the swarm mode a little bit sloppily. I don't think that was the right choice to save that much for it, especially since he knew that the Techmarine had Mark Target and Melter Gun. Much better, I think, to get 2 Carnifexes up at that point with Thorn Backpacks to charge in and tie this guy up. But there you have it. A valiant effort from the blue team, but the red team had it in hand for quite a while. Some tense moments, but they seem to be able to rebuild a lot better than the blue team did every time they lost stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.